The 2014 to 2020 Acura RLX Sport Hybrid. This is a special sedan in the Acura lineup. You know why? Because this is still the most powerful sedan Acura has ever made. This vehicle produces 377 horsepower and 341 pounds-feet of torque. Just to give you some context, a brand new Acura TLX Type S only produces 355 horsepower. So I totally get the frustration that many people have with this brand because a freaking 10-year-old RLX is still the most powerful sedan that they have ever made. I mean, the Type S should have at least came with 400 horsepower. It was a good opportunity for them, but it is what it is. We're not here to talk about the TLX Type S. We are here to talk about the Sport Hybrid and what makes it unique. So we're going to first talk about what the RLX is. We're going to go through some basic specs, and then we are going to talk about some interesting facts that you probably did not know regarding the Sport Hybrid, because I've already done reviews on the regular 2014 RLX and the 2020 RLX. But let's get started here with the Sport Hybrid. What is this car? Well, it is Acura's flagship sedan, so it is the largest vehicle that Acura makes. However, the way Acura positions their vehicles, it's quite interesting because they have it in a way where it doesn't really compete with anything. It's funny how they do that. Technically, Acura is benchmarking the mid-size luxury sedans like the BMW 5 Series, the Mercedes E-Class, Audi A6, Lexus GS, things of that nature. However, the RLX is bigger than pretty much all of them, kind of trying to bridge that gap between the midsize and the full flagship sedans like the S-Class, the 7 Series, things of that nature. 2014 to 2017 RLXs had the beak grille, which many people did not like. Me personally, I like the beak. I thought that was a decent grille design, and in silver, it looks really good. That's just my opinion. You can leave your thoughts about the beak grille in the comment section below. But in 2018, the RLX got refreshed, redesigned, and it no longer has the beak grille. So you're going to see both models kind of running around on the screen here. The 2014 to 2017 models were 196.1 inches long. That grew by about 2 inches for the 2018s and up at 198.1 inches. Like I mentioned, larger than the mid-size luxury sedans. And it's true, the RLX offers a ton of interior space. There's so much rear legroom. I think that's great. However, the RLX is one of the worst selling vehicles for Acura. Hardly anybody bought them, which is why they stopped making it in 2020. And part of that might have to do with the pricing. In 2014, a regular base model RLX started at $48,450, and a fully loaded Sport Hybrid with the advanced pack was $65,950. I hope they leased out really cheaply back then for the salespeople's sake. Fortunately, in 2018, they kind of calmed down with their pricing. The pricing actually went down, and also they've simplified the trim levels. There's less trims to choose from. It's just the regular front-wheel drive RLX, which started at $55,895 with destination, and a Sport Hybrid all-wheel drive in 2018 with destination was $62,895. So now let's quickly talk about the specs here. The Sport Hybrid utilizes a naturally aspirated 3.5-liter V6 engine, which is glorious. I've always loved the naturally aspirated Honda V6. It sounds amazing. The engine by itself produces 310 horsepower, 273 pounds-feet of torque. But as mentioned before, the total combined system horsepower and torque is 377 horses and 341 pounds-feet of torque. And that's because we have 3 electric motors, and these are lithium-ion batteries. And those 3 electric motors is what propels the super handling all-wheel drive system in the RLX Sport Hybrid. I'll talk more about that later on. The Sport Hybrids utilize a 7-speed dual-clutch transmission. I've always loved the 8-speed dual clutch that they used in the TLX. I thought that was one of the best Honda Acura transmissions. However, the RLX utilizes a 7-speed, and I'm sure that's probably great as well. So that's another big change for the Sport Hybrids. We also have proper suspension geometry. We have double wishbone suspension in the front and a multi-link In the rear, we have 19-inch wheels with the sport hybrids, and they are noise reducing wheels, which I'll talk more about later on as well. The sport hybrids came with a smaller fuel tank, 15.1 gallons versus 18.5 that a regular RLX would typically come with, which is understandable. And the fuel economy numbers in 2014 with the sport hybrid was 28 city, 32 highway. A regular front-wheel drive RLX got 20 in the city and 31 on the highway. So the highway MPGs, not that different, but the city MPG goes up drastically with the sport hybrid, which is great. With all that extra performance and power, you're also getting better city MPG. Now, something funny to report is the 2018s and up see less fuel economy in the highway. The 2018 RLX Sport Hybrid gets 29 MPG on the highway. So I'm not sure why the MPG dropped by 3 on the highway for the 2018s and up, but it is what it is. These vehicles did need to utilize 91 octane premium fuel, according to Acura. I'm not sure how many owners actually follow that rule, but it's there. Just thought I would let you know. Of course, the weight also goes up by approximately 400 pounds when you go with the Sport Hybrid as opposed to a regular RLX. It weighs around 4,354 pounds. That's for 2014, goes up slightly in 2018. So about 400 pounds more, but funny enough, the weight distribution is better with the Sport Hybrid rather than the regular RLX. The weight distribution is 57% in the front and 43% in the rear for the hybrid, and the regular RLX in 2014, it was 61% in the front and 39% in the rear. And the RLX came with many standard features, which I really appreciate, and it should come with it because this car cost a lot of money when it was new. Okay, now you know all the basic specs regarding the RLX. Let's go ahead and let's go into some of the interesting facts that you probably did not know regarding the RLX. And then at the end of the video, I'll talk about the different changes that occurred with the different model years. So stay tuned for that. Let's start out with the super handling all-wheel drive system because it utilizes 3 electric motors. One of the motors is integrated with the 7-speed dual clutch transmission, which I already mentioned, and a pair of the rear motors, so 2 of them, are going to power the rear wheels. The twin motor unit dynamically distributes electric motor torque between the left and the right rear wheels. And this is pretty much the exact same hybrid technology that we're going to be seeing in the Acura NSX. So it's impressive that this came out in 2014. Now, in 2018, one of the changes was it now utilizes a lighter lithium-ion battery pack, so it saves 8.2 pounds from before. So that's how the super handling all-wheel drive system works with the RLX Sport Hybrid. And if I haven't mentioned this already, the RLX Sport Hybrid is tested to do 0 to 60 in 4.9 seconds. Funny enough, that's the exact same 0 to 60 time as the TLX Type S, and this is all according to Car and Driver, just so you know. The next fact that I want to address with the Acura RLX is actually going to be with the body. So there's a lot of aluminum being used with the RLX. The various aluminum body components include the hood, the front bumper beam, the front fenders, the floor tunnel bar, the rear bumper beam, steering column, hanger beam, the front door skin, and the rear door skin. They are all made from aluminum. The doors of the RLX are a hybrid construction, utilizing aluminum in the outer panels for lighter weight and steel inner panels for stiffness and for crash safety reasons. And this overall hybrid construction saves 24.3 pounds compared to an all-steel door. And just so you know, the Acura RLX, even in 2014, received 5-star crash test safety down the board. It was an IIHS top safety pick, so all of that is great. Most Honda Acura products are indeed very safe. Another interesting fact is going to be with the wheels. Even the regular 2014 RLX had noise reduction alloy wheels. Base model wheels were 18 inches, and the Sport Hybrid models came with 19-inch wheels, both of which are noise reduction alloy wheels. And how do they do this? Well, they have a special noise reducing design that lowers the noise by as much as 7 decibels across the audible frequency range, according to Acura. The key elements of this is the 4 resin moldings fitted on the inside of the wheel rim. The result is reduced noise resonance in the air column inside the wheel. Same thing goes with the 2018s and up. So I thought that was a very cool fun fact regarding the wheels. And finally, the last interesting fact that I want to talk about regarding the Sport Hybrid is going to be with the Krell audio system. The regular RLXs came with the ELS audio system. That was a 10 speaker unit back in 2014 to 2017, and then 2018 to 2020 they started to utilize a 14 speaker ELS audio for the regular RLXs, but the Sport Hybrid models came with the Krell audio system, and it was 14 speakers all throughout the years 2014 to 2020. And this was supposed to set a new benchmark in automotive audio performance. I'm not sure if it did or not, but Acura always nailed it with the audio systems. They almost always sounded good, especially in the flagship cars like the RLX. Like, I like the ELS system, and I'm sure this Krell sounded amazing. So at the time with the Acura press releases, they went on and on how Krell is one of the most highly respected names in the high-end audio industry, how they had $5,000 preamps and $12,500 amplifiers, $65,000 speaker systems. They just kind of went on and on regarding these things. So Krell is a very legitimate audio system for sure, and they wanted to let you know that. So what stood out regarding these Krell speakers? Well, they use a highly advanced speaker technology to achieve great sound. The tweeters use magnesium diaphragms, and the reason why they went with magnesium for the tweeters is because an aluminum diaphragm would create a strong inherent resonance around 20 hertz. And that type of resonance creates a harsh or a gritty sound. So that's why they went with magnesium, even though magnesium is more expensive than aluminum. And a special technology is applied to the Krell System's 6.7 inch speakers. These speakers use diaphragms constructed out of a material called Xylon, which is the world's strongest superfiber. This material helps to create a cleaner and more detailed sound. So the point is, this is a very legitimate audio system. They did not take any shortcuts with it. And if you're an owner of this car, please let us know how the Krell audio system sounds. And if you've tried the ELS audio system, please compare it with the Krell. I don't think they use the Krell audio system anymore in any of the Acura products. I think they only utilize the ELS audio systems, which is fine though. The ELS in the new Acura products do sound amazing, especially the 3D high-end ELS models. In the fully loaded Acuras, they sound great. They always have done a great job tuning their audio systems. And as I promised you before, I said that I would go through the various model years and let you know what the changes were. As I already stated, 2014, that's when the vehicle got redesigned as the RLX and you got the beak grille. So in 2015, it's interesting because Acura said that the Sport Hybrid will go on sale. However, it'll just be known as a 2014 model year. But it's just weird what they did in 2015 with the Sport Hybrid by still calling it a 2014. No idea what was up with that. In 2016, they made 19-inch wheels just standard across the board, even for the regular RLX. But they also made chassis and suspension upgrades in 2016 for an improved ride quality. Plus, they gave you more safety features like collision mitigation, road departure mitigation, rear cross traffic alert, and a 360 camera. In 2017, they dropped the base navigation trim level, and 2018 is where they redesigned the RLX again with the new styling, with more safety features, and with a retuned suspension. And the regular RLXs got a 10-speed automatic transmission. The Sport Hybrids, as I mentioned, still came with a 7-speed dual clutch. And also, like I mentioned, they made the lithium-ion batteries just a little bit smaller, a little bit more lightweight, saved about 8.2 pounds on the lithium-ion battery packs. But despite them saving some weight with that lithium-ion battery pack, the overall vehicle still weighs a couple pounds more at 4,380 pounds in 2018 versus 4,354 pounds back in 2014. And 2019 and 2020 saw pretty much no changes. So that's a look at the RLX Sport Hybrid. Hopefully you learned something. Hopefully you have a newfound appreciation for the RLX Sport Hybrid. It's a very cool car. If you can find one certified pre-owned in the used market, it might be a cool vehicle to pick up and drive around in. It is massive. I do like the way they drive. I do like even the regular RLX with the pause, the rear wheel steering function. I still like those cars, but this sport hybrid seems to be the way to go. More power, more performance, the all-wheel drive, better fuel economy. It just seems like a great vehicle. And there's also a MDX sport hybrid as well, just so you know. But the RLX is that flagship, came with a ton of great features, like with the power rear sunshade, with the manual sunshades in the rear, the sides. I mean, just plenty of great features. I really like that white interior. That's what I tested in 2020 with the white steering wheel. I wish more cars would learn from Acura regarding that and give you a different colored steering wheel. I absolutely love that. It's a cool car. Let me know if you're an owner of it, and leave your thoughts below about ownership, how it's held up for you, and if you've tried the vehicle, let us know your thoughts as well. So thanks again for watching. I'll have the next video about the Acura RL on the end screen here. Click on it and I will see you there.